Hello everyone. Today we shall learn some more examples of infinite product. Okay, in my previous lecture I have told you how to convert infinite product into an infinite series. Okay, so in this case we'll convert this infinite product into an infinite series. So the first example I told you yesterday. Now we'll do the second example. Show that the infinite product 1 by 2 into 3 by 2, 3 by 4 into 5 by 4, 5 by 6 into 7 by 6 and so on up to 2n minus 1 upon 2n, 2n plus 1 upon 2n up to infinity converges. First you have to take care of the step that here it is given that the nth two factors are 2n minus 1 upon 2n and 2n plus 1 upon 2n. Okay, sometimes these factors are not given to you and you have to calculate the nth term yourself. So you can see that the factors in pairwise in the numerator are odd terms and in the denominator these are pairwise even term. But the pairs start from the denominator's pairs start from one previous term, that is if you see the numerator it is only one term as 1, then 3 3, 5 5, then 7 7 and so on, and in the denominator it is 2 2, 4 4, 6 6. So you see two pairs with 2, one pair with 4, one pair with 2, one pair with 6. It is clear that it is 2 into 1, 2 into 1, then 2 into 2, 2 into 2, then 3 into 2, 3 into 2. So it is n into 2, n into 2, and in the numerator it is the odd term starts from 1. So n varies from, if I take n is equal to 1, what it will be? 2 into 1 minus 1, it's 1 by 2, then 2 into 1 plus 1, 3, it is 3 by 2, right? So it is 1 by 2, 3 by 2, then 3 by 4, 5 by 4 and so on. Okay, so it is very clear that you have to find the nth term first. Okay, now to check this is convergent, so let us take this is as p. Suppose p is this infinite product. So how do we convert this infinite product into infinite series? We take the logarithm of both sides. If we take the logarithm of both sides, again we shall take the logarithm pairwise. Okay, suppose this is the first term, this is the second term. Okay, we'll take the factor pairwise, first factor, second factor, third factor, so that we can relate the nth factor with n, right? So if we take the logarithm log of p, okay, this is log of 1 by 2 into 3 by 2 plus log of, we always try to convert into the series so that we can form certain specific pattern. Okay, that's why we have taken the terms as pairwise, plus log of 5 by 6, then 7 by 6 and so on, and the last one is log of 2n minus 1 by 2n into 2n plus 1 by 2n, and since we have written as p, so it will be dot dot dot, that means continued. If I write here pn, then it will be up to nth factor, but I have written here p, so it is up to infinite terms. Okay, so this you can write it as summation n varies from 1 to infinity, as in the first two factor n is equal to 1, in the second two factor it is n is equal to 2, then n is equal to 3. So n varies from 1 to infinity, it is log of 2n minus 1 by 2n into 2n plus 1 by 2n. So what is this? We have to convert into the form log of 1 plus x or 1 minus x. Okay, so we try to convert into this form. Log of, this is 4n square minus 1 upon 4n square. So this is summation n varies from 1 to infinity log of 1 plus 1 minus 1 upon 4n square. So this is of the form of log of 1 minus x. We shall put the formula of log 1 minus x. So log of 1 minus x is minus x square by 2 minus x cube by 3 and so on up to infinity. So I'll again, as I told you earlier, that if I take minus common among all, minus, it will be x plus x square by 2 plus x cube by 3 and so on. We'll take the minus common and then we will apply the test for positive term series, right? So here it is summation minus n varies from 1 to infinity, x is 1 upon 4n square. So it is 1 upon 4n square plus 1 upon 4n square whole square, that means 16n 4 by 2, that is 32n 4, then 4n square cube, 4n square cube, it is 4 3s its cube 4 16 and then it is 96, 2s 192, n raised to the power 6 and so on. Okay, 64 into 3, 4 4s are 16 into 2, then 64 into 3, it is 192 and 6 and so on. Now in every term we can take 1 upon n square common, so minus summation n varies from 1 to infinity 1 by n square common, it is 1 by 4 plus 1 by 32 n square plus 1 by 192 n 4 and so on. Okay, now this is summation an, which is a positive term series, right? If you take an as 1 by n square into 1 by 4 plus 1 by 32 n square plus 1 by 192 n 4 and so on, and you take bn as 1 by n square. Okay, then we find the ratio an upon bn, this 1 upon n square get cancelled out, and then we take limit n approaches to infinity, limit n approaches to infinity, it will get cancelled out, and limit n approaches to infinity, these all terms will be 0, and in that case it will remain as 1 by 4. So the ratio of an and bn is finite and non-zero, finite and non-zero. So by comparison test fifth form, summation an and summation bn both converge or diverge together. Okay, both converge or diverge together, converge or diverge by comparison test fifth form. Okay, now bn is what? Summation bn is summation 1 upon n square, which is again hyperharmonic series, summation 1 upon n raised to the power p, and this is convergent for p greater than 1, and here p is equal to 2. So summation bn is convergent implies that summation n is also convergent, and it implies that log of p, limit n approaches to infinity, this log of p will converge to minus 1 by 4. Log of p is convergent, you cannot say it converges to minus 1 by 4, so this is convergent. Suppose this is convergent to s. Okay, so p will converge to exponential s, so product is convergent. Okay, this is for the first example. Second example, now we see, we'll do next example number 3. Show that the infinite product pi n varies from 1 to infinity cos x by 2 raised to the power n converges to sin x by x, where x is any non-zero real number. Okay, this is very important as we will do some trick over here. First write this infinite product in expanded form. As I told you earlier that the product is convergent if and only if the sequence of partial products is convergent. And what is the sequence of partial product? The nth term in the sequence of partial product Pn is the product of first n factor, that is cos x by 2, cos x by 2 square into cos x by 2 cube up to the first n factor x by 2 raised to the power n. So what do we do? Write in the reverse order, as these are the decreasing terms, because as the power of 2 increase, the factor will decrease by 2. So we'll write in opposite order, x by 2 raised to the power n, x by 2 raised to the power n minus 1, then cos x by 2 raised to the power n minus 2, and in the last it will be cos x by 2. Now what do? We'll multiply. First, we'll improve this angle by a factor of 2 with the help of sine. We'll multiply this with sine x by 2 raised to the power n, and we'll write the formula of 2 sine x cos x as sine 2x, 2 sine theta cos theta as sine 2 theta. So what do? We multiply both sides by sine x upon 2 raised to the power n. Okay, so what do we get? Sine x upon 2 raised to the power n into Pn is, what do we have? Sine x upon 2 raised to the power n cos x upon 2 raised to the power n, then cos x upon 2 raised to the power n minus 1, and so on up to cos x upon 2. See, this is 2 sine theta cos theta if I multiply it with 2 and divide it with 2. So first factor I can write in this way, 1 by 2, 2 sine theta cos theta, and this is the formula of sine 2 theta. So instead of writing this, we'll write over here 1 by 2 sine 2 theta. That means sine 2 into x by 2 raised to the power n. See, 2 into x by 2 raised to the power n. What is that? This is x by 2 raised to the power n minus 1. Okay, 1, 2 get cancelled out. So it is x by 2 raised to the power n minus 1. Again, the next term will be cos x by 2 raised to the power n minus 1. Then the next term will be cos x by 2 raised to the power n minus 2. And the powers will decrease to x by 2. Again, what do? We again divide by 2 and multiply by 2. So it is 2 raised to the power 2. And here it is 2 sine x by 2 raised to the power n minus 1 cos x by 2 raised to the power n minus 1, then cos x by 2 raised to the power n minus 2, and so on. The product will go up to x by 2. Again, the same process will be repeat. So this same process will be repeated, and here it will be 1 by 2 raised to the power 2 sine x upon 2 raised to the power n minus 2. Then cos x upon 2 raised to the power n minus 2, and so on up to cos x by 2. We shall repeat this process. See over here, when here it is 2 raised to the power 2, then it is 2 raised to the power n minus 2, 2 raised to the power n minus 2, first 2 factor. So continuing like this, again multiply by 2 and divide by 2. Okay, then we'll get, when we get 2 raised to the power n minus 1, increasing these terms, when we get 2 raised to the power n minus 1, here we will get sine x by 2 raised to the power n minus n minus 1, n minus n minus 1. See, 2 raised to the power 2, 2 raised to the power n minus 2. So 2 raised to the power n minus 1, 2 raised to the power n minus n minus 1. Okay, and into cos x by 2. The last factor will be this. So this is 1 upon 2 raised to the power n minus 1 into sine x by 2 cos x by 2. Again multiply and divide by 2. We have 1 upon 2 raised to the power n into 2 sine x by 2 cos x by 2. And what is this? This is 1 upon 2 raised to the power n sine x. Okay. Now in the left hand side, what was that? It is sine x into 2 x by 2 raised to the power n into Pn. This is equal to 1 by 2 raised to the power n sine x. So what is Pn? Now Pn is 1 by 2 raised to the power n sine x upon sine x upon 2 raised to the power n. Okay. So what do we have? If I want to, this is sine x independent of n. So you can write it sine x this is independent of n, and this is 1 upon 2 raised to the power n sine x upon 2 raised to the power n, and we initially told that x is a non-zero real number. Okay, as it is non-zero, so we can divide and multiply by x. Okay, since x is non-zero, so we can divide by x and multiply by x. Now this is sine theta by theta form, and as n approaches to infinity, this theta will approaches to 0, because when n approaches to infinity, x upon 2 raised to the power n will approach to 0. So this is 1 upon, you can say it as 1, this is sine x by x into 1 upon this sine theta by theta. Here theta approaches to 0, so this limit when n approaches to infinity, this will tend towards 1, sine theta by theta. This is not 1 because x is not approaching to 0. N is approaching to infinity, so x upon 2 raised to the power n is approaching to 0. So you cannot say this is equal to 1. Instead, 1 upon this sine theta upon theta is 1, and so limit n tending to infinity Pn is sine x upon x, and therefore the product converges to sine x upon x. Next we shall discuss another example. Show that the following infinite products. Next example is 4. Show that the infinite products pi n varies from 1 to infinity, 1 plus 1 by n, and product n varies from 2 to infinity, 1 minus 1 upon n. N varies from 2 to infinity. But why we have taken here n varies from 2 to infinity? Because if I take n is equal to 1, the one term will be 0, and the product in this case will be 0. And in yesterday's lecture I have told if only finite number of terms are 0, and after omitting those finite number of terms, we'll check the convergence or divergence of the product. Okay, so we have taken n varies from 2 to infinity, and this is from n varies from 1 to infinity. So it is product. You can take the product of n factor. The product of first n factor Pn. First factor is 1 plus 1 by 1. It is 2 by 1. Second factor, it is 3 by 2. N is equal to 2. 1 plus 1 by 2 is 3 by 2. Third factor, it is 4 by 3. And nth factor is n plus 1 by n. See, n plus 1 by n. You can take the LCM and calculate the nth factor. Okay. So limit n approaches to infinity Pn is the limit of the product. So if I take the limit, you see these all factor get cancelled, and this will be cancelled with the help of the previous one. So Pn is n plus 1. When we take limit n approaches to infinity, this is infinity, and therefore the product diverges to infinity. Similarly, in this case, what do we have? We have n minus 1 upon n, the product. N varies from 2 to infinity. It is 1 by 2. First we'll put n is equal to 1. It is 0. N is equal to 2, sorry. Then 2 minus 1 upon 2, it's 1 by 2. Then 3 minus 1, it is 2 by 3. Again it is 3 by 4. The first n factor are n minus 1 upon n. This is Pn. If I do this, all factor will get cancelled out, and in that case Pn will be 1 by n, and limit n approaches to infinity, Pn is 0. As n approaches to infinity, 1 by n is 0. This is the example of the product in which we have omitted all the non-zero factor. Even then the limit of this product is 0, and therefore this product is divergent to 0. This is the example of infinite product which diverges to 0, and this is the example of infinite product which diverges to infinity. So that's all about this lecture. Next examples and theorems we shall do in my next lecture. Till then, keep watching my YouTube channel. Bye.